Hope is irrational. Who needs hope the most? People who are downtrodden, who are down on their luck. For whom is hope the most illogical? People who are downtrodden and down on their luck. They're the ones who've seen the worst of life. They're the ones who should be the most pessimistic in the world. And they're the ones who need hope the most. Hope is irrational, because when you live through distress and anguish, it's impossible to believe that anything better could happen in life. And an excellent example of this is in this week's Torah reading. Moshe is dispatched by God to give this beautiful speech to the Jewish people about how God is going to redeem them. In fact, the speech is called in later Talmudic literature the Arba Lashonot Shel Geula, the 4 languages of redemption. God says that He's going to take the Jews out, He's going to redeem them, He's going to save them, He's going to take them to God as a nation. And at the end of the speech, God actually says that He's going to bring the Jews into the land of Israel, to the land of milk and honey. Now, what's fascinating about the speech is not the speech itself, but the reaction that it gets from the Jews. When Moshe tells this speech to the Jewish people, the Torah tells us, "V'lo shamu el Moshe mikotzer ruach u'me'avoda kasha." The Jews didn't listen to Moshe because of shortness of breath and hard work. They were simply working so hard. They were under so much distress that they were breathing constantly short, shallow breaths, that they couldn't even contemplate Moshe's message of hope. For them, hope truly was irrational. What would make them think after 400 years of slavery that anything different could happen? And as much as hope is irrational, it is also invaluable. There's a fascinating halacha that Maimonides cites in regard to the Hanukkah menorah. The Hanukkah menorah, as you know, is a symbol of the miracle that occurred to the Chashmonaim when they entered into the temple and they lit the menorah. It was supposed to light for 1 night, it lit for 8. Maimonides makes a remarkable claim based on a Mishnah in the beginning of the 10th chapter of Psachim, that actually a poor person has to sell the shirt off his back in order to buy candles for the Hanukkah menorah. Now this, on the face of it, seems very strange. Generally, we do not require people to make enormous sacrifices in order to perform a religious commandment. So why is the Hanukkah menorah different? Why do you have to sell the shirt off your back? And I think the answer is that the Hanukkah menorah represents hope. And even when you have absolutely nothing in the bank, in fact, precisely when you have absolutely nothing in the bank, is the moment when you need to go out and show your faith and your hope, that you're able to see an optimistic side to life. And therefore, Maimonides declares that for someone who is downtrodden, there's an absolute obligation for him to light the Hanukkah menorah. The Hanukkah menorah is a symbol of optimism. It's a symbol of hope. It's a symbol of faith. To that person, the Hanukkah menorah is invaluable. If you have no money in your pocket, you must light the Hanukkah menorah, because for you, hope is even more valuable than the shirt on your back. Hope is irrational, but it's invaluable. And people who are in the most difficult situations must certainly hold out hope. You know, there's a fascinating story that is told about the Blushever Rebbe, Rabbi Israel Spiro, at the end of the war in March 1945 in Bergen-Belsen. So one evening, one of the inmates, a woman, sees the Blushever Rebbe standing at the electrified fence. And so she asks him, "What are you doing there?" And the Rebbe responds, "I am alone in this world. My entire family is gone. I was left alone to witness all this suffering and shame. I am standing here at the electrified wires at this horrible, forbidden place, so that the angels of death who dwell in the watchtowers will put an end to all my misery and pain." The woman looked at the Blushever Rebbe, holding back her tears, and said to him, "How could you even contemplate such a drastic step? You are the scion of such a prominent family in Judaism that enriched our lives with saints, scholars, and righteous Jews. How can you stand here now and think of ending your life? A day will come and God will bless you once more. You will be grateful that your life was spared. And besides, the world needs you. This woman was telling the Lubavitcher Rebbe, you must live. You must have a sense of hope. And even when everything looks hopeless, you are required to hope and to expect a better day. Now the truth is that the Lubavitcher Rebbe was right. To stand in March 1945 in Bergen-Belsen and to hope for a better day was irrational. But the woman was correct. She understood that without hope, life is impossible. Without hope, Judaism is impossible. And even if hope is irrational, it is invaluable. And we must make every sacrifice to have a sense of hope, optimism, and faith.